So, all day I was fighting with my lower back and hips and upper buttocks getting zapped to where I could barely walk. And that's faded mostly, but they're still hitting a little bit. And since then, all evening, all night, and I guess through all morning, we'll see, they are hitting me all over my body. This is not a mental illness. I think a lot of people are aware of that, but I am feeling an electrical beam right there from a direct energy weapon, which police, military, or local law enforcement, military, and government have. I am not making this up. They have been hitting my head all night long. I've been having to cover my head in different places all night long, and every time I cover it in the right place, my hand gets hurt. That is not coming from inside my body. That is not something that my mind is making up. And while this is happening, they're playing an insanity soundtrack on voice to skull, over voice to skull devices, attached probably to the same drone. They're playing the same songs over and over. Right now they're playing wedding music. And now they're playing this one. They're playing this one that goes da 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 da. And it's just like insanity. And they're also hitting my ears right here. I can feel it with my hand if I do that, trying to make my body feel more physically stressed, beyond what it normally feels just from the emotion of being stressed and the physical sensations that come along with that. They're hitting my throat, they're zapping my legs, my feet are buzzing right now. My feet are literally buzzing right now, not as much as they were. They actually laid off them a little bit today. Now my hand's getting buzzed. And they're playing with the sound again. They're doing speaker hiss as if someone was turning the knob when I did that. They like to do that. They like to do sound effects whenever I'm trying to defend myself or whatever. It's just retarded. It's the most insane thing ever. They were hitting my eyes earlier. They were like zapping my eyes, or I feel like pressure pushing against it, or it feels like they were stuck down like that, and I didn't have any eye boogers in my eye. And even afterwards, they were talking about, they actually mentioned like, your eye is stuck, like in some asinine bratty girl's voice, because they have a sound modifier that can actually mimic people's voices. And I've heard my dad's voice all night long. I'm sure my dad is not part of the Gangstalking terrorist group, but I've heard it all night long. And they're playing kippers, they'll do that. And now they're doing dirtbag, even though they weren't doing that all night. And they play this other clip that in my dad's voice where he goes, "I gotta tell you, dot dot dot." Just now, and still they're hitting my crotch. It's like, when your penis is being touched. I'm sure, like women, I'm sure when your vagina is being touched or your butthole is being touched. Everyone knows when their private parts are being touched. This is not a phantom sensation. This is, and it's moved too. They push against it, so like they're trying to trying to turn my dick inside out, or just like squish it flat. And then when I yanked on my penis and told them to get off, and they started vibrating it, and they started making it feel like it was oozing. I don't have gonorrhea. I don't have anything like that. I don't have any problems with my penis right now. But they can cause a sensation to where it feels like it's kind of oozing, and it's not oozing anything. It's just a weird sensation that they can cause. Another one that they can do is they were pushing against my bladder. I was literally having to do this, a little bit lower, I guess, like this, while I was lying down, to block this beam that was pushing against my bladder. And when they do that, they also shock the head of the penis in a certain way. So it actually literally gives you the sensation that you have to pee. And it's not just the phantom sensation, because they're pushing against your bladder and they're and they're giving you more of like the urge to go, or like the sensation like you have to go. It's insane. FBI agent Wayne Sampson, like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, I don't know if you just don't believe me. I don't know if you're just taking your time questioning the witnesses. You should have already questioned some of the witnesses by now. They should have confessed by now. The ladies at Red River Family Practice, like, Dr. Lambert told me they confessed, that they admitted wrongdoing. Now, I don't know if they told him why, but if there's absolutely no reason for them to have done that just because they're in a bad mood. I'm sure, like, it doesn't take me to tell you that, but I'm just saying that that doesn't make sense. And I also need them to confess to releasing my healthcare information or pointing out the staff member who did, because that's important too. I didn't just imagine my healthcare information from past visit notes from 10 or 12 years ago or longer ago being summoned up by schizophrenic voices that foretell the future or tell me things that I don't have in my brain to even suspect, even with paranoid ideations. It's not a coincidence that the weeks prior to my visit to Red River Family Practice, when they stabbed me and assaulted me and lied to me, it's not a coincidence that my healthcare information from long ago visits were being leaked to me by them. You know, that's not a coincidence. And it's, if they lied to me and then stabbed me, I wouldn't put it past them to release my healthcare information. I mean, there could have been a third or fourth staff member involved, but I'm not a paranoid person, and I don't want to think the worst of things. The simplest explanation is that it was one of them. And regardless, like, I'm not making this up. I've demonstrated in like 150 videos, and I have witnesses that have literally put their hands over my feet, and they literally felt the shocks going to their hands. They said it felt like a warm energy beam. And they went on record on writing, and they also were interviewed in person by a sergeant with Travis County. There's another witness, same deal, except he didn't feel them over my body. He was diagonally below my bed, and the beams that were aimed at my feet, any of the ones that missed were hitting him in his feet. And then the next night he swapped, and then he felt it in his shoulder or upper arm. He felt them go like numb or being shocked. And I'm like, you're getting my collateral damage from that. And there was another victim in there going through the exact same thing that I was going through. And right after we testified, or not testified, I guess, but went on record in person with the Travis County Sergeant, that night, like, they shocked me like a motherfucker. They like increased the attack, and the next morning I was like, did they seek revenge against you and like punish you for that? And he was like, yeah, they were zapping me like a motherfucker. So this is not in my head. Again, I don't know sometimes if you can make out the shit in the videos. I'm trying to. It's hard to record the shit that they do, but I think I've got many videos that show things that don't make sense and that are anomalies, and it's not camera noise. If it was camera noise, I wouldn't have recorded it to begin with, Dad and Tim. I wouldn't just record a wall and then just be like, oh, let me go through this noise and like make shit out. Like, I don't want to spend my time doing that. I'm doing that trying to capture the bullshit that I see, because it doesn't always capture correctly. Like when in the dark sometimes, or when I'm in the backyard in the dark, it's like sometimes there's like a blue like TV static fuzz all over everything. That's not a hallucination. The camera picks that up too, and it makes everything really dark. And then sometimes it's squiggly, sometimes it's not, but like a lot of times it's squiggly. That's why in a lot of those videos, you'll see like things go like this. Okay, I have a Note 8 phone. It's got one of the best cameras on it. You know, I mean, now there's like the Note 9 or whatever, but still, and the next iPhone, but still, it doesn't take videos or photos that shitty, even in the dark. It's not camera noise. Some of it may be, but my eyes saw that, and they may be projecting something that looks very similar to camera noise. I don't think it looks like camera noise at all. I think it looks very distinct from that, and sometimes you can make out shapes or things that are definitely like eyes. You can see eyes blinking sometimes. You'll see like little eyes on there, and you'll literally see like the eye blink, or you'll see something in front of the eye like go like, or psh, psh, like that. Okay, I'm not making this shit up. Okay, now they've been zapping my shoulders off and on. So like as if the phone is that heavy to lift up. Now they're shocking my shoulder. Now my hand's hurting. Now my hand's getting shocked. Okay. So I have to do this because they got one or two beams on me. Now they're shocking me back here. It's like now my hand's getting shocked again. And I'm feeling pressure on it. It feels like it's being crushed a little bit. So it's like they're zapping me all over my body. And they're intentionally trying to get me to lose my shit. And I know that I can't do that, but I've come close a couple of times when I've like yelled out loud at them. Just tonight I was like, get the fuck off of me or something like that, or get them off of me. And I can't tell you how frustrating it is when I read that last email from my dad and I'm like, my dad would never be that rude. I mean, he's been pretty rude in a lot of messages this past year, but that was like one of the rudest ones and the most dismissive ones and the most like, and Dad, if that's really you, like either way, I'm so fucking disappointed in you. And Agent Samson, I'm really disappointed in you too, because I told the truth and I'm telling the truth now. I don't have a history of mental illness. One does not become schizophrenic at age 41 without a history of prior illness. It doesn't happen. And in any case, these voices told me things that I could not have even guessed or suspected, even in a paranoid way. I couldn't have guessed that a stranger had my phone or hacked my Google account. And they did a little Simon Says with him when he walked up to the parking lot and I was looking out for my hotel room, and they were like, do this, do this, do this, now move over here, now move over here. And he appeared to follow the instructions that I was hearing them give to him, or I don't know, but or give to Mike, Fast Mike or whatever, who was possibly hanging out with him. I'm not sure. But and they do that countless times. They read ahead in books, even when the text is on the other side of the page. They read license plates off before I have a chance to even glance at them, or before they're even in my field of vision. They describe people and events that are happening that are not in my field of vision at all, not in my brain at all. And then like I come around the corner or I open a door or I look out the window and boom, I see it. And this is just utterly ridiculous that I can sit here and get tortured and terrorized, and I make video after video of those pain videos, and I'm like, look, and I've got witnesses. It's like, what do you need? Like, I didn't tell that guy to make it up. He was being honest. And the other guy that was getting hit, he was being honest too. And the other victim was being honest too. This is like utterly insane. It's utterly insane how the police have reacted to this. Like the Maynard Police Department ripped me out of bed when I did nothing wrong, and an hour earlier, another set of police officers had left when there was nothing to do. They found that there's nothing to do. I'm not afraid. I'm not thinking of hurting myself. I'm not thinking of hurting anybody else. I don't need any help. I don't know why you were called. And then like Alan takes a hammer to my door, which my dad's like, that's not violent. It's his door. No, you can't do that. It's no different than taking a hammer to the front door of someone else's apartment when you're the owner of the apartment complex. And then he had the door handle taken off. That's also illegal. And then the police saw that. More than one officer saw that coming in, and I pointed out to them again. So they all saw it. I don't know if they all turned it around, but they all were informed, hey, that's a red flag. They should have seen it as a red flag. And I'm like, he did that. Like, I'm not thinking of hurting myself. I'm not thinking of hurting anybody else. They did not ask me any questions. They ripped me out of bed, handcuffed me. They hurt my left wrist, similar to an incident before when the Travis County officers also hurt my wrist. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but they had no reason to take me. They had no reason to POED me. I don't know what Alan told them, but it doesn't matter what he told them because they should have interviewed me. And I was calm, except I just didn't want to go with them. They had no reason to take me, and I get locked in. I was in the hospital for 3 days and get locked in an insane place for 7 to 10 days. Every single day, I'm like, I'm not thinking of hurting myself. I'm not thinking of hurting anybody else. I'm the victim here. I don't know why I'm here. we need to talk to medical. Medical needs to talk to psych. And they're basically relying on some biased information that they were provided that was incorrect to begin with. And they kept asking me some questions, and they're like, well, we're just worried about you. And I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't belong here. It pushed me, I'm not suicidal, and I still haven't been suicidal, but it pushed me closer to suicide than anything else. So like, you should be ashamed of yourself, Dad and Alan, for actually thinking that was a good idea to do. It was the worst thing to do. It was wrong to do. It was criminal to do. And it wasn't just criminal negligence, it was criminal to do that. You cannot do that to someone, but apparently you can. Apparently they can just do whatever the fuck they want. Well, this thing is getting like way too long, but I've been bottled up for like 5 years now, but like, they've been attacking me all night long. But they attack me 24/7 now. People are like, who has the kind of, like, I don't need to justify the actions of terrorists and people who torture people and who enjoy it, or who do it just for their job, which I don't believe that shit. I believe they take great joy in this. Now they're playing the fucking Pio commercial, whatever that is, late at night. That woman that has that fucking, I don't know, I think it's called Pio or something. They're playing that song. They've been playing that for like a week now, over and over and over and over again. And like, this is not even schizophrenia. This is like super schizophrenia times a billion. Like, there's no way schizophrenia is like this. And this is people using voice to skull or some other similar technology, which has been around for over 50 years. Magicians and mentalists use it when they pretend to pick numbers from people's brains, or when they have a participant think of numbers to use in a trick, like with Tyra on America's Got Talent. She has no idea, but they used voice to skull on her when she was punching those numbers into the calculator. And they're just very quiet about it because they don't want their tricks. They don't want to, they don't want to like lose this like cool trick that they can do. But I'm just sick of this shit, and I'm sick of that. Like, Agent Sampson, you haven't called me back, or you haven't emailed me back. You told me to get in touch with you, like, if I was gonna lose my shit. It's like, I can't lose my shit, but again, you shouldn't use that. You shouldn't take advantage of that fact and like take your time with this investigation. And I'm sorry if you're insulted by that, but I'm not sorry, because like, this is bullshit. Like, I need a whole fucking army to come over here and get these people. It's not that fucking complicated. It's complicated for a victim, because what am I supposed to do? Go run around the neighborhood, go looking for them? I already did that like a long time ago at the Grove. And like, you just end up looking like a crazy person and getting like, getting more attention on you. This is nonsense. This is fucking nonsense. And I'm sober and sane, and I'm being attacked every single fucking day, and they're making threats throughout the entire day. They're also saying things, and don't take this as a suicidal thing. I swear to God, if anyone tries to commit me on this, I swear to God, you will fucking regret it. And yes, that is a threat, because I don't belong anywhere like that. And a lot of people that would be suicidal or would be honest about having suicidal thoughts, they shouldn't be forced into a place like that either, because that's just going to make it worse. I'm not suicidal. I'm not thinking about hurting myself or anybody else. But they keep saying things like, well, this will end when you kill yourself. Well, this will end when he kills himself. And then they'll say things like, once we get rid of his dog, then he'll have nothing to cling on to. And they'll say horrible things like that. And they keep saying like, they have my dad hostage, and that's why he's not responding. And the person that's sending me money has been like a gang stalker, or like that his girlfriend's in on it. And I'm like, I don't even have like the space in my head to even like, I can't do anything about that anyway. So it's like, that's like the least of my worries. I'm sure that's not true, but they keep saying shit like that. They keep saying things like, this is your last night that you're going to be alive. Or they keep saying like, oh, they have caught us, they are onto us, or we know that they're about to be onto us, but we're going to basically like ruin you for life. And we're going to do all these horrible things to you. We're going to kill you, or we're going to get someone to kill you. Like, I almost got jumped the other day randomly by 3 Hispanic dudes. They came around the house asking me if I'd seen someone like individually, and I was like, no, I was just walking to the gas station. And then like, they actually started, like, one guy put his hands on me, and I was like, get the fuck off me, I'm just going to the gas station. And I'm sure they had something to do with it. They probably put that in their heads. They can do that. They can like put subliminally, or not so subliminally, put thoughts into people's heads. And I'm sure that had something to do with them. And it's like, and they're increasing their attacks. They're trying to get me to the point where I would hurt myself, but I'm not going to do that. and so like now they're resorting to getting other people to, or to try to get other people to do it. It's fucking absurd, and I'm fucking sick of it, and I'm sick to death of like you, Dad, not doing a goddamn thing except like staying in your skeptic block of like fortitude. They said, but like you're immovable. You're like you cannot be. Your mind cannot be changed. It's already been made up a long time ago, and I think that you do know. I think that last message, and maybe some of the previous messages of you, were a hint at something that you do know. But goddamn, if that's the case, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm literally being tortured and terrorized every single day, and like you don't even know the level of torture that they're doing to my body, or mentally to me. Like the shit that they're doing, like nonstop, like it's like being on a super schizophrenic radio station that you can't get off of. And they're playing like multiple things of music. They're still playing that Pio song, but they're also doing the trumpets to the like the Kentucky Derby or whatever. Now they're doing the dun, 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 and then it'll end on like and they'll start right over and they'll play like 3 different things at the same time, and then they'll now they're speaking, they'll do this, and it's utterly insane. That's not coming from my brain. Other people have heard this too. The other victim that I listed, I think John Henry Pate was his name or something like that. They called him Hammer in jail. He's listed as another victim. And again, I don't need you spending all this time going after these like witnesses and victims, or I mean, just interview some of the suspects. They should confess. There's absolutely no way that they're not going to confess. What are they going to? I mean, there's no way that they could say anything that you would buy, right? And they keep saying, well, the FBI guy is in on it. No, I don't believe that he's in on it. I certainly hope not. It could be the case. I mean, they've turned other people, but I don't think that's the case. I kind of was hoping that like when the FBI guy was assigned, like the case was already actually kind of like had already broke, because and that I don't know if you were using me going back and forth between here and Austin as a means to track them and get them, but I don't know what you're waiting for. If you really still don't believe me 100%, like, oh my fucking God. Like, I don't enjoy taking those videos. I don't want to spend my time doing those videos, Dad. I don't want to do that. I don't enjoy that. But all the shit's going on all around me. And you did not look at every single one of those fucking videos. You did not watch every single one of those fucking videos. You're a fucking liar. And I'm fucking sick of it. And I'm fucking sick of you sitting there probably watching it in full daylight. When I keep telling you, like, watch in a dark room. Watch on this. Like, and again, some of those videos might, because they do projections on top of the phone screen, or in my eyes. Like, I've literally ceased the same thing that you think is camera noise. I literally have closed my eyes and seen that before. It permeates, like, through everything. It goes through everything. And when I'm trying to take that shit, it's because my eyes saw something and they weren't hallucinating. I was not hallucinating. It's like, and when you say enhanced, like, I'm not modifying the videos in any way except adjusting like the contrast, whatever. I'm not adding anything in there. I don't even know how to do that. I mean, there's one program I have where for the entire length of the video or clip, you can draw on it, but like, it would be obvious. It'd be no different than like on the note where you can highlight stuff, or you can like draw a smiley face or circle things. Like, it's nowhere near anything. Like, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, all I'm doing is adjusting the levels so that try to like up the brightness, up the shadows, like maybe up the contrast and vibrance, or like I play with that, and I'm trying to get that. And I change the hue sometimes, because the hue sometimes in that blue purple thing, at least to me, looks more noticeable than in like the default one, which usually comes out kind of green. And sometimes it makes things more noticeable. I'm not modifying the video in ways that I'm putting something in there that wasn't there before. Like, I'm so insulted that you would say that. And I think that was an obvious hint at you, but I can't take that as a hint, because what am I supposed to do with that anyway? Like, I'm literally being tortured. Now they're doing the fucking heat lamp on me. It's like now there's like a heat lamp right here, and now I feel it on my hand. I don't feel, it's hard to tell if I can feel the heat, but I definitely feel pressure on it. I definitely feel that crushing sensation. Oh, that hurt there. But like they can do that. They can instantly like hit an area and make it feel hot. Now they're doing it to my chest. Like I'm not suddenly coming down with a fever that's like migrating like spot-wise throughout my entire body. Okay? At the same time having like natural schizophrenia where I can foretell the future and know things that aren't in my brain to begin with, even as a paranoid idea. At the same time that it talks, at the same time that like before things happen, and after it happens too, but like that could be explained with schizophrenia. But like even before, like they'll say things like that, like lift your feet off the floor at the Grove, and if I didn't lift my feet off the floor, obviously like what the fuck. Then they start zapping my feet. It feels like there's literally like someone shocking the bottom of my feet, like ch. I'm like, it makes you jump, it gets pissed off, makes a noise ordinance get called on you. And like I swear to fucking God, like I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing, but it's not enough. And I'm sorry if you don't feel appreciated, or I don't even know if you're doing anything at all. I don't even know if you're doing your job or if you're doing anything at all, Dad. I don't know if you're just moving on with your life or whatever. But I'm never gonna forgive you for this, ever. Like even if you're doing like everything behind the scenes and like whatever, like what the fuck, like I could be dead tomorrow. Like this is something that people would kill over. I mean, they've tried to get me to kill myself, and I'm not suicidal. I'm not going to do it. But they've driven me to a point, like past the point where like other people and maybe me in another timeline would do that, and that's unconscionable and that's unforgivable that you would allow them to do that. I mean, when you find out what they said to me, what they did to me, you're gonna sob for like ever. And I've tried my best to explain this to you, and every time I correct you on something, or then Tom half-ass corrects you on something, and I add more corrections to it, not even insulting Tom at all, then you're like, Kip, you're such an ass. No, I was not such an ass. You're an asshole for even saying that. Tom didn't correct the whole fucking record, for one thing. And first of all, where's my fucking apology? Where's like, I'm sorry that I accused you of threatening to like hurt or like Tom's daughters, like a 5 and 8 year old at the time, I think. Like, I would never do that. And the fact that you think I'm the type of person that would do something like that, and the whole bomb threat thing that I explained to you right afterwards, I'm like, no, that's what they're saying. And I was trying to vent to Robin that it just fucking sucks that they try to get me and other people to go after people like the cops, the ones that did screw us over for them, and the ones that screwed us over maybe because they're just bad cops, and maybe they were like manipulated a little bit by them, but still they did something horrible. And then others that they make look bad, and that like you have to be more careful than ever before with these people, because they can manipulate every single one of your perceptions, and literally they can. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. They can literally manipulate every single one of your perceptions, and like I'm the one being careful and not doing that. Not like I would do a bomb anyway, but the fact that like I explained that right afterwards, and like ever since then you're still like, well, I believe you did intend to do something like that, or did intend to. No, Dad, I've never thrown a punch on anyone in my entire life. I don't want to get in fights. I don't like that. I have no desire to do shit like that. You know, like when you finally understand what these people are doing, like you're probably gonna like go on a murdering spree. Like I swear to God. And like I can't say that I like haven't wanted to do that, you know, on them, but at the same time I'm like I can't do that, and then in reality like I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend my time, like I would rather have someone else deal with them than me. Like I just don't want to spend my effort on something like that. This is 30 minutes. Wow, I'm just going off on a tangent. And they're still doing it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And they're also playing the Wizard of Oz music, like the tornado music, when it's like, And then like with the Wicked Witch, when she's on the bicycle and she turns into the Wicked Witch, to playing that music too. I think something like that. I don't know. They're also mixing it with the other. They're mixing a whole bunch of shit together. So they have like someone that's very good at that, apparently, or decent at that, or I don't know. But I'm I'm so disappointed in you guys. And it's like, and I try to explain to you about that bomb thing, and like, no, Dad, that's not. No, you send 2 messages, not one. And you get hung up on that shit. Like, I just thought it was like 2 lines and a single message. Fine, it was 2 messages. Fuck me. God damn it. Like, I'm a horrible person. I explained that to you, and you still don't remember it. I explained it to you over and over again. And I correct you on things, and you're like, well, it makes me angry when you correct my memory, or something like that. Well, it makes me even angrier when you get angry about it instead of correcting your fucking memory. Write it down, motherfucker. I've written it down. It's in the fucking, like, everything's in there. Like, but you don't read it, or you read it a long time ago. It's changed. It's changed an awful lot. You should take a look at it. Okay? I'm so fucking sick of this. I'm sick of them. And they're like, and some of these words might be chosen by them, because they can do that with Voice to Skull. They can cause the words that come out of your mouth to be manipulated by them. That is literally a fact. I have witnessed it with myself and with other people. What, do you think I have dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder, as well in some of those videos when I let them talk through me, or when I tell you what they're saying? Like, I suddenly came down with multiple personality disorder, or dissociative identity disorder, which most psychiatrists don't even believe is a real thing, and schizophrenia, and fibromyalgia, which, again, Tom, I don't think you have fibromyalgia. You were a victim too in this, I guarantee you. And Dad, you were a victim too to some extent. I don't know how long they were on you, but they were on you for a certain period of time, because it was not a coincidence that when you mentioned the Hampton Inn and visiting Chris and I, that I just seen Chris, who didn't let me go into his house, and then I was standing there looking up at the Hampton Inn sign when you said that. That is not a coincidence at all. I guarantee you that's not a coincidence. And like, what, you think that you suddenly thought of that out of the blue? It's like, why would you mention that when like you hadn't been there in like over 10 years, and then like suddenly I'm there. I was just there, and then you mention that story. I mean, a paranoid person would think that you were in on it, and obviously I didn't think that. I just thought it was a fake phone call. But like, no, you had these people fucking with you. You've had them. I don't know if you still have them on you now, but like, you've had them on you before. I guarantee it. There was a Thanksgiving weekend. I'm sure maybe some part of this team broke off and went to go visit you to make sure that, you know, they made sure that they made sure that that cop took my debit card and didn't give it to me, because it wasn't in the hotel room when Robin went back to me. So I was like, the day after Thanksgiving, couldn't access my bank account, and I'm roaming around Austin, not like, can't get any help from anyone. It's like, oh, all right, I'm gonna end this, but like, I'm gonna end this video. But I'm just so disappointed in everyone. I just can't believe that. And I think that some people know, and that like you were told not to. But like, I think Buddy like mentioned in his thing, like I think he mentioned unless like they spoofed his account, you know, and that wasn't really him, or hacked his account, which I mean they could, but like I think it was him. And he mentions like a catheter, and like just like the incident before, the nurse was like threatening to put a catheter in me, and like I don't think that was a coincidence. But they can change your voice too, as well. They can give you accents. If you notice in some of those videos when like my voice changes when they talk through me, like I'm not choosing to do that. They're doing that when they go to the Kermit the Frog's voice or whatever. And like I did not choose to do that. I'm literally being like a passive conduit for them via Voice to Skull. That is totally a thing, and it's not. It's not something that's coming from a crazy person. Again, you think I came down with 10 fucking diseases all at once? Oh, and you're ignoring that I have multiple witnesses and victims listed. Some of whom don't even know that they're victims. It's like everyone went crazy in my house and like left, and then like I start hearing, like George heard my voice talking behind his back, even though I never did that. And then like I hear his voice now, not talking behind his back, but I hear his voice all the time. Like they rotate, like he comes and goes. Like sometimes I don't hear him for a while, but then, and they have his nuances too. It's like, it's fucking, because they were at the house watching us, recording us. Like, I'm so fucking sick of this shit. Like, and I literally have witnesses that have felt the beams hit my body or missed my body and hit them. Like, they're on record, and other victims have felt the same thing too. We're not making this up. Like, how can you ignore that and even question, like, well, you know, your dad thinks you should go into a one month inpatient mental institution. I would never do that. I don't need any help that way, and I'm not in denial. And I swear to God, I swear to, like, it was one of the lowest points in my life when that happened to me last time for like 7 to 10 days, and that was uncalled for, and those people will pay for that. They will have to answer for that. And that's not a threat directly for me. I'm saying they will have to answer that, because there was absolutely no reason to rip me out of bed and take me to a hospital without asking me any questions. When I pointed out the fact that the person that they talked to that called the police, who an hour earlier, another group of officers left because there was nothing for them to do, like, why did it change? Why did it change for you guys? After pointing out, and some of you already saw, that he took a hammer and punched a hole through the door and had my door handle taken off. But since the last officers came, you did not ask him any questions about that that I'm aware of. You put me in cuffs. I did nothing wrong. I was in my fucking bed being quiet. I did absolutely nothing wrong. I was not thinking about hurting myself or anybody else. Now they're playing like Fellowship of the Ring music or something like that. I don't know, maybe not. They literally fucking score my fucking life, and they'll take it through all the fucking emotions, and they'll literally like a fucking jackass, they'll fucking play like Fellowship of the Ring music, and then they'll be like, well, at this time, blah, 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 blah. Or they'll say, it must be so frustrating, because I've been sitting here going like, get them off of me, because I assume that you guys are watching me and them, because that's the only thing I can think of, is that you've been spending time gathering evidence, because it's so important, because maybe there wasn't any evidence from before, any media or footage from before. That's not important anymore. What's more important is the footage that we could get that they may already have, and that they keep threatening that they have deleted, it didn't exist, oh it did, but they just deleted it, blah, 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 blah. But getting them interviewed immediately with full cooperation, and finding out who are the other victims, who are the other people doing this, where are other people that have these weapons or a subset of these weapons, how did this happen, what company makes these things, what companies makes these things. It's like, immediately you have to do that. You're not investigating this case correctly. You're not doing anything right. And even if you think you are, you're not, because you're like me and other people. Like, someone could have killed themselves or killed someone else or hurt themselves or hurt someone else between the time, and the time that I've been trying to get this attention on this, and even before then, and now. And it's like, if you wait another day, who knows what's going to happen to me? I'm not going to kill myself. But I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I'm pretty sure they got those 3 guys to almost jump me. That's never happened before in my entire life. Now they're vibrating my butt, and it's a type of vibration that's electricity, and it's going through to my prostate. There's there's a fan right there, but that's been on the entire time, 24/7 pretty much. That does not cause vibrations to go through the bed, through the floor, whatever, and then to my prostate. Now they're zapping my prostate more.